What's up, guys? So I decided to do a video based on divination from reading a book that I'll later do a review on called The Oracles of Apollo. So it talks in this book about a few forms of divination that I really find interesting, and I'll actually show you one form of divination from that book. That is the alphabet oracle. But there's a few others that are really fascinating to me that people would do. So back in ancient Greece, that I found interesting is that there would be towns that have busts of Hermes, and they would have a bust of Hermes on a pedestal. And the form of divination would be that you have a question that you want to ask Hermes. And so you would literally walk up to the statue bust of Hermes, and you'd whisper into Hermes's ear. And then they would close both ears with their hands, put their hands on their ears, and walk away. And when they walked outside of the temple, or when ready to hear, the first word or sentence that they would hear from someone talking would be the answer to their question. That's an interesting idea for divination. And those of you that have been watching some of my videos, you guys know that I love divination, that when I pray to Apollo, that a lot of the times I like to also do an oracle card reading. And so that was one form. There's also bibliomancy that it talks about in the book, and that is where people that have copies of the Iliad, the Odyssey, and the Aeneid, which was by Virgil, and it's kind of the unofficial third part of the story. They have a question. So what people that practice Greek bibliomancy will do, or some people will do, is that they will have a question again, and they open up one of those three books, and they pick a random page, and they just kind of close your eyes and just pick a sentence in one of those books, and that sentence will answer that question. I don't know how well that actually works. I've never actually tried that myself, but that was another one I thought was really interesting. But the one that I'm going to do today, that I decided to do a video on, is the alphabet oracle, where it's kind of like the Asatru have the Viking runes. It's kind of like that in the Greek version, where we're going to write the Greek alphabet on these stones and use them kind of in the same way. And that's what this video is going to be about. And I hope you guys like this video. So there you go. As you see, here is the Greek alphabet. So an easy solution to do that I did is I painted with marker on glass beads all the letters of the Greek alphabet, from alpha to omega. And this is a temporary thing I don't really recommend, because I can already tell you that writing on glass beads is very easy over time to get your sweat on it and to have it wipe away, so you'll have to constantly always have to touch it up by writing on it to wherever it's faded. I don't expect these to really last too long. I would recommend better to draw on clay to get you some of that self-drying clay, and draw the letters onto that, which I'll probably do as well. But in a quick fix, if you can't do anything else, you can go to Walmart or a dollar store and get you some glass beads. And I wrote the letters on the bottom of the glass beads, the flat side, because glass beads have they're round, but they got the flat side. So I just wrote on there. And yeah, so there you go. There's the letters to the Greek alphabet, from alpha to omega. There you go. And they're perfect too for the divination that we're going to do. You want to have them, for what we're going to do, you want to have them to be round, so when you shake them up, they'll fall off. So that definitely works. Say that for a more potent consecration of the alphabet oracle, you can invoke the daemons or spirits for each letter. You would chant these names erroneously and visualize the glowing letters descending into your lots from progressively higher spheres. For alpha, Abla na thoth nalba. Beta, Bula min Tareb. Gamma, Gadni a Muting. Delta, Dema ge naid. Epsilon. Inclucle e. Zeta. Zena b otis. Eta. Askal thothre. Theta. Thoth. Tho. Thotheth. Iota. A. A-E-A. A-U-E. Kappa. Korka o na-ok. Lambda. Lula e Nayel. Mu is Maratha Abman. Nu. Nirzi Arzin. For Z. Zana fa anax. Omicron. Orne a fa o. Pi. Pura barup. Ro. Re ro tai. Sigma. Sisin me no res. Tau. Tau ra pa lit. Upsilon. Upefe no ru. Phi. Fima ma mef. Chi. Hini a fa uk. Psi. Sukan po ops. And Omega Arion. Alright, so don't feel like you have to remember those words or look them up, because you don't have to chant those words as you make your beads to go in your Greek alphabet. But even just making the Greek alphabet on your tablet or on your clay beads or whatever you're using, you can definitely feel the power as you're making them. It's almost like you can see almost a blue flame in your mind's eye as you create these letters to be used for divination. So it's already a really cool thing. And so we have them made. So now we're going to go into how to consecrate them. I'm going to pray to Apollon and show you guys how I do it and how I would do it personally. And then we'll actually use them for divination. All right, so here we go. And then he went towards Telphusa, and the pleasant place there was right for a temple and a shaded grove. You got very close to her and you spoke these words. Telphusa, I'm inclined to build a very beautiful temple here, an oracle for mankind, where everybody will bring perfect sacrifices, whether they live in rich Peloponnesus or in Europe, or in the islands that are surrounded by waves. Because they will be looking for oracles, and I will give out oracles to them all. Accurate advice too, I'll give to them in my rich temple. So I ask Great Apollon to bless these beads. May they serve well and give great advice from you, great God. And I thank you, great God of oracles, for hearing me today. May your blessings be on these. May they always be a constant help. And I thank you, great Lord, in advance for your advice and your blessings. Hail to you, great Apollon, great knower of all things, who has the ear of Zeus. I thank you again, great God. So I'd recommend leaving those oracles on your altar for at least 30 minutes or half an hour, at least half an hour, just so they have the blessings of Apollon. I wouldn't want to use them immediately. Just give them as an offering to the great God and then use them later, preferably the next day, but if you want to, you can go ahead, but at least wait 30 minutes. So now in the next part, I'm going to show you what each letter means. So I'll show you each letter and their meaning, and you can stop wherever you need to see what the interpretation is, but here you go. Alright, so this divination is easy. All you do is put your beads or pebbles, what you're using, onto a plate or bowl, and then you have to have a question in mind. And then I'm going to pick up this plate and just swirl it around until the bead falls off, and the bead that falls off is your answer. And you look up the answer or go backtrack on this video and see what that letter in the alphabet means. And then you can ask a second question as well if you have a second question to add on top of that. So they say that if a bead falls off the plate and onto the floor, then to try again. But to only try 3 times, because if it happens 3 times, then that means that that's not a question that the gods are wanting to answer right now. So you don't really want to press it by trying again. So I'm going to swirl it and then see what falls off. Alright, so I asked the question, and these are actually next to each other, which is interesting. I got lambda and mu, and it told me for the answer to my question is to leave off grief and then wait to light, and then make no haste, in vain you press ahead, which makes sense. I'm not going to tell you what my question was, but those definitely make sense, and it's interesting that they were right next to each other. And another thing to say is that if it tells you, sometimes it'll tell you that a god is with you, so you can roll your pebbles again, and here's your relevant god. So if I did that, got that, my god with me would be Aphrodite or Apollo, so see, or Athena, so that's what this is for. Very helpful. So there you go, guys. It's that easy. I love this divination. It works. That was an answer. That was good advice that I needed. But I do suggest that please have a question in mind, because I did it the first time, just shaking the pebbles and nothing was falling off, and then it hit me. I wasn't even thinking of a question, so that may happen. So definitely have a question in your head as you do this, and you will find this to be very helpful. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you.